This is the Slasher Club, and this is our horror movie reviews, where there is no measure when it comes to terror and entertainment. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. As you probably know, we are heading back to Haddonfield, Illinois, and me and Cameron will be your guides. And Cameron will be giving you the synopsis on Halloween 4, Return of Michael Myers.
Yes, this film opens October 30th, 1988, story-wise. We follow, at the beginning, for the opening scene, a medical team that is preparing to move Michael Myers, who is catatonic at the time. They are preparing to transfer him back to Smith Grove, which was the institution he was originally being observed at. And he hears news about one, that they're going back to Haddonfield or within that area, and two, about Jamie Lloyd, who is Laurie Strode's daughter. And while they are transporting him, he escapes, and of course, everybody that was a part of that transportation team dies in the process of that. And then our main characters switch to Rachel, who is a fairly attractive young teenage girl, and Jamie Lloyd, who is a young girl who, as I mentioned, is the estranged daughter of Laurie Strode. And yeah, then we go from there. It's Michael Myers going after Rachel and Jamie. Dr. Loomis is on the hunt to stop Michael from getting to them, and a whole bunch of carnage ensues. We have quite a bit of carnage in this film compared to prior entries.
Right. It was directed by Dwight H. Little, a new director. We have it produced by Paul Freeman, screenplay by Alan B. McElroy, and actually we have a cameo by his wife as the waitress in Pennies. The story was by Alan B. Elroy, Danny Lipsis, Larry Petner, and Benjamin Ruffner. We also have music by Alan Howarth, who usually worked with John Carpenter on the original movies. We have cinematography done by Peter Linens. We have Donald Pleasance back as Sam Loomis. Daniel Harris as Jamie Lloyd, known for Free Willy, Urban Legend. The Wild Thornberrys as Debbie. And Hatchet 2 and the rest of the Hatchet series, not including 1. We have Ellie Cornell as Rachel Curfers. What was that?
The actress that played Rachel, she looks so much like Elizabeth Shue in this film.
Oh, God. Yes, she does. She was actually sad that she wasn't mentioned in Resurrection.
Oh.
Yeah, we also have George P. Wilbert, who is Michael Myers. As we've said before, this is technically the Michael Myers curse, where you can never have one actor playing Michael Myers. We have Bo Stars as Sheriff Ben Meeker, the new sheriff of the movie, taking over for Brackett. Kathy Kinmont as Kelly Meeker. Sasha Jensen as Brady. He actually is really handsome in real life, especially if you've watched the commentary. We have Carmen Philby as Reverend Jackson P. Sayer, also known as the Singing Priest, who gives Loomis a ride and a drink. We have Raymond O'Connor as the security guard, the ass from the beginning. Michael Patak as Dr. Hoffman, Jeff Olson as Richard Corfer, Karen Alster as Darlene Corfer, and on to the kill score.
Yes, slasher stats. Here we go. From the top, we've got 4 dead EMTs. We have 3 stabbings, 3 off-screen kills, 2 impalements, 1 dead dog, 1 electrocution, 1 death by firing squad, 1 face crushed, 1 person thrown, and 1 neck ripped. For a total of 18.
You know what? You gotta love. We've had so many dogs die on this channel.
Well, I think it's I think I finally figured it out. Michael Myers is actually a very smart killer. There's a reason why he's like one of the most quiet of the slasher. You know, there's a reason why he's in the top 3 behind Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees. But he's a very stealth-driven killer, and I think I figured out he kills the dogs because they make noise and because they act as security for people at home, you know, so he's disabling them, and he also tends to disable their electricity, too, or their phone lines.
Well, then again, Jason also cuts the power, and he did kill that one dog, Cupcake, from... I think it was the dog of one of the twins. In part 3, we also have... I believe Freddy did kill a dog in one movie.
Well, he killed the dog in the original film, and then he killed the dog in this one. That I know for sure. But you're saying there was a dead dog in Season of the Witch, wasn't there?
I think so, but there was also in the second movie.
Oh, you know what? I think we're getting. Hold on, I got my notes right here. I don't see it. You know, but it is. I think we got it confused with because we just did The Conjuring last week, and there was a dead dog in The Conjuring.
No, but if you... Oh, wait, no. There were 2 dead dogs in the first movie. One he snaps the neck of, and one he eats.
Oh, you're right. Because, yes, they go into the Myers house, and they see the animal remains. Okay, yes. 2 dead dogs from the original Halloween.
Right, on to the favorite kills. Mine, personally, is Kelly gets pinned by a shotgun. I mean, it's so reminiscent of Bob getting stabbed against the door with a knife. And plus, a great way to use a shotgun. I mean, you only see... I mean, yeah, you see Brady hit him over the head with the shotgun. You see a lot of shooting in these movies with a shotgun. But you never see a girl getting pinned to a door with a shotgun before.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'll have to agree with you on that. That was the most, that was the craziest, if not most inventive kill in this film. To use a shotgun, which is a very blunt object, and to use that as the device for impalement, it's absolutely horrifying. But I agree with you, it's definitely reminiscent of the original film. And it plays on the fact that Halloween 4, yes, it's a return of Michael Myers, but this is definitely a more visceral and gory Michael Myers. I mean, we have him sticking his thumb through the forehead of one of the EMTs. We have him ripping the throat out of a police officer, I believe. I mean, this is, a far more brutal Michael Myers.
Right, least favorite kill, I'd have to say. The 3 guys literally get thrown out of the movie by getting thrown out of the truck. I mean, come on. At least we could have seen more. I mean, yes, they get stabbed. One, not really, he just gets thrown out of the truck. But come on! At least give them a memorable kill instead of just throwing them away, I guess you could say.
Well, sure. I thought the scene was actually kind of showed how badass Michael Myers is. Like, he took on 3 men at the same time. So for those that want to say that, I'd like to see Michael Myers go up against, real fighters. Well, these were men that were trained with weapons that possibly had some sort of, fighting history or experience, and he took them down, with efficiency. So, sure, the deaths could have been a little bit more creative, but we have 18 kills. This is the highest number of kills for a Michael Myers Halloween film yet.
Right, onto the trivia. We have a budget of $5 million, more than the last movie. We have a box office of $17.7 million worldwide. We have Jamie Lloyd. Jamie Lloyd was actually named after Jamie Lee Curtis. She was actually supposed to be named Brittany. Yeah, imagine. Oh no, Brittany Lloyd has died? Huh? 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 Did you literally just say her name was Brittany? Yeah, why? Was she born to be a stripper?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people know, no offense to all the Britneys out there, but a lot of strippers are named Brittany.
Well, come on, you're missing the obvious. Britney Spears. She's not a stripper, but she might as well have been. She's a very high-paid one, but while I have it on my mind, can we talk about how horrible the Michael Myers mask in this movie was? In my opinion, it is the worst Myers mask of the films thus far.
Well, actually, if you pay attention to the information on the internet, it actually turns out the original mask was already gone way before this movie started. So when they noticed that, they bought another Mike Shatner mask and tried fixing it up. Actually, they tried it as it looked normally, and then they tried it back into the normal Halloween way, and it turned out Halloween way was way better. Yeah, you do still see some of the blonde hair in some of the scenes, like the school scene and other scenes like that, but the rest of the movie, it's not technically noticeable.
So there's this one scene, very brief scene, where Michael Myers and Dr. Loomis face off at that rest stop in that little diner area, and you see Michael Myers in the overalls and a bandaged head. To me, I thought that was a more, chilling look. If they didn't have a good, convincing mask, that is what his look should have been for the film. I know that it would have been different, but come on, we just had a Halloween film that had no Michael Myers, that was not connected to the main series at all. They could have changed his look if they wanted to, and so having a bandaged Michael Myers, that would have been really creepy. And then let's say throughout the film, some of the bandages get, there's rain, and there's wind, there's all sorts of damage. So, they kind of peel away a little bit, so we see some the burned skin. They could have gone in a unique direction, and I think the mask that they used was just very generic, and it did not make him scary to me, even though the kills were bloodier and gorier. Just seeing the Michael Myers with the goofy, generic mask kind of took me out of the film.
Yeah, but you gotta remember, they wanted to go with the usual look that you usually have thought of with Michael Myers. So, yeah, I would have liked to see more of the bandaged Michael. It kind of I can't remember the name of the horror movie right now, but when it comes to me, I'll mention it. But it really reminds me of more of that. Not really a Michael Myers character, but that one female with the bandages on her face. Yeah, I would have liked to see more of a burnt face Michael Myers, but you gotta admit, you were starting to miss the mask in the third movie.
Yeah, and we got the man back, obviously, which is great. Well, you know what? We can leave it to our audience to decide. Do you like the return of the white mask, even though it's not the classic white mask? Do you think Michael Myers belongs in a white mask, or are you okay with Michael changing his appearance a little bit to be different? Do you think the bandaged Michael was scarier?
I mean, technically, if you remember, we do get a different Michael Myers. If you want to see a different Michael Myers, you can go watch the second film of the Halloween reboot, and look how well that worked.
Well, I mean, we'll get there. We'll get to
Right.
that.
Cameo from Tommy Doyle. He's actually in the drugstore with both Brady and the other guy. It's really hard to tell which one he is, but this is post Curse of Michael Myers, Tommy Doyle from the original films.
Oh, okay. That is interesting. I did not know that he was in the movie.
Right, neither did I until I looked it up. It was actually, this movie was really hated by many critics. Just because, yeah, it tried going back to the original style of the original movies, but it kind of failed. I mean, originally the movie was supposed to be a ghost story if they went along with the analog, but then again, the original script for this movie was supposed to be, Michael Myers changed the whole scene of Haddonfield, and now, technically they were trying to go for kind of a Friday the 13th Part 5 kind of vibe going on, with a new killer trying to be Michael Myers and play off the fear that he had in Haddonfield for the past few years.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, we've already kind of gone into what my disagreements with the film are, the mask, but also the change in Michael being a little bit, more brutal makes the film feel more like your typical type slasher film and less of a Halloween film. I'm glad that they had, the certain elements, they had the costume shopping, they had the trick-or-treaters, but the feel of the film, it just, I don't know what it is, but it's obviously missing something that Carpenter and company had that made the first two films just really feel like Halloween.
Right. I can't understand where you're coming from, but I actually did like this movie. Way better than 3.
I don't hate this film. I don't think it's the worst entry in the series by far. I actually wanted to touch on a couple of good points in the film, things that I really liked. And a lot of the scenes that I really liked featured Dr. Loomis. I feel like, he is a staple to the series. So when we reach the films where he's not in it, we definitely notice his absence. It's very noticeable. But there are some scenes that I just love. And you mentioned the singing preacher. There is a scene of Loomis shortly after his first confrontation with Michael Myers in this film, where his car gets destroyed through an explosion, and he tries to hitchhike, and there's these group of high school kids that are like, "Oh, come on, old man, we'll give you a ride." And this poor old man tries to run up to the car. He had a cane earlier on, so, he's got this limp, and they just dust him. They dust him. And I took a picture of it when I was watching this over the weekend. Because have we not all had days like that where the day is already just crappy and horrible, and then something else just gets heaped upon it? Like, have we not all, had that type of day where we just feel absolutely dusted? I felt horrible for Dr. Loomis. So anyways, I thought that was kind of a funny moment, but also kind of sad too,
I can contribute to Loomis's huge problem in this movie. I mean, I had one hell of a day today. I almost got fired, now I'm suspended from my job, and I'm gonna quit. Because I need to find a better job, because, no offense guys, but Great Adventure, working there is kinda shitty.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, so I kinda got dusted, but...
we all have... some of mine are a little bit more darker. I can't think of, like, I can't think of anything off the top of my head without getting too dark. So, moving back to Loomis, though, after he gets dusted, he does get picked up by a preacher, and they start singing. And I just love that scene. It was very, because, as I mentioned, it's a great contrast to what had come before. All these kind of tragic and horrible moments happen to Dr. Loomis. Everyone blames him for Michael Myers getting out. And then he runs into this preacher who's like, "Oh, are you on the hunt? You look like you're on the hunt." And he finds this kindred spirit. Yeah, the preacher seems a little crazy, a little kooky. But when I see Dr. Loomis smiling towards the end of that scene, I feel great. I'm like, great. Maybe this is just a short little moment, but it's great to have these lighthearted moments when you have so much darkness and evil present in a film. And Michael Myers is the embodiment of evil in these stories.
Right. On a kind of dark but kind of weird note, during the roof chase, actually, Eliza Cornell was actually very badly injured by a protruding nail. And actually, she was a really good sport about it. I mean, yeah, she's bleeding out her stomach, but, I mean, she still continued the scene, and she's still alive, because they did get her, after the scene was filmed, and they sent her off to the hospital, and she got patched up. There was also the guy that got his wrist slit, but survived, because he was trying to hang up a stage light. Yeah, so we all have those kinds of bad days.
Yeah. It sounds like not only Dr. Loomis, but the actors on set had those types of days.
And actually, funny story. Because the actor who was playing Michael Myers was afraid he was going to scare Danielle way too much, he'd usually after a scene, he'd take off his mask just to show that he's human and it's all just filming. So, good on you, Michael Myers. Michael Myers' actor. Huge sportsmanship. Even though she wasn't really scared, you did try and be a good sport. And actually, but speaking of him, there's a funny fact. Because, yeah, he was very tall, to make him more bulky, they had to make him wear knee pads just to make him look a lot more bulky and a lot more disturbing in this movie.
I think let's talk about Danielle Harris. I mean, this is her first role. She's 8 years old. She did a great job for her. A lot of the film rested on her shoulders, and when we get to part 5, even more so. She did a really great job, and I thought for her age and for this being her first major film, bravo. And then after you give your comments, we can talk about that really shocking ending.
Yeah, actually, I gotta say she was a way better child actor than ones I've seen before. I mean, seriously, she acted the hell out of that film. I saw no problem with her acting at all. And actually, I could feel the emotion when she was crying, when she was being bullied by those very rude kids, and how I guess they kind of turned their act around later on, since I don't think they heard Michael Myers was coming to town yet, but, I mean, that's a huge difference from real life. Most bullies wouldn't turn around. But this movie actually, I mean, I wish most bullies could watch this movie and just get an idea of how you should act.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I mentioned the ending, which, we've been talking about spoilers. We've been talking about details for this film. If you haven't watched it, pause here, watch the film, come back. But the film ends with the cops taking down Michael Myers, so to speak. He falls into a cavern and he's assumed dead. And then everyone returns back to the house where Rachel and Jamie and their folks are. And Jamie is in a clown costume, and if you're familiar with the Halloween franchise, you should know the significance of the clown costume. But anyways, Jamie takes a pair of scissors and kills her stepmother, and the last shot we see is her covered in blood in the clown costume, holding up the shears, and Dr. Loomis, crying, "No! No!"
My God, like I said before, they were trying to do something similar to the first movie, but this actually hit me, and I'm kind of sad they didn't go with the storyline a little more in the fifth movie, other than, they've got a psychic connection between each other after what she did, but I mean, this was a great ending, but I really wish they played more off it instead of just leaving that story and sending her to a mental hospital.
It's one of the few moments, as you mentioned, that really resonates. Like, it really hits you. And I feel like you had mentioned that they wanted to do a ghost story. After hearing that, I really feel like this film would have been better had they gone that route. Have that scene at the end be more towards the beginning, and instead of this being the return of Michael Myers, it is Michael Myers as a ghost, essentially possessing or influencing. She's the next Michael Myers,
No! You basically just described Jason Goes to Hell.
No, okay, so let me rephrase this. It's not really, what I mean by the next Michael Myers, I shouldn't say possessed, because that sounds like Jason Goes to Hell. But her just being the next Michael Myers, like a separate killer, and you could still do the Cult of Thorn thing. You could still do that, all of those, things. But because that ending was shocking, and there was so few actual, jarring moments in this film, it would have been better to have that be the jumping off point in the film and movie, and then we go forward. Oh my gosh, she just killed her mother. Maybe she's coming. Okay, here, imagine this. I will try to make this as quick as possible. The film opens up. She's this nervous little, young girl. She decides to get the costume. Everyone's having a happy Halloween. She kills her mom with a stepmom with those shears. We jump ahead to the following Halloween. Rachel's visiting her at Smith Grove or another institution, and she's like, "Oh, I don't know if I should come home. I'm so scared." And everyone's like, "No, you've healed. You're better now." And they take her home, and then she hasn't. She gets triggered by Halloween again and goes on this killing spree, because we don't really have a lot of slashers with kids. I mean, yes, there are a few out there, but it would be very shocking. Like, oh my gosh, the next Michael Myers in the franchise is a child.
Well, you hear that, ladies and gentlemen? Get down to it and start writing this. You know what, Cameron? If we ever do make that movie, Medicinal Murder, we're making this movie next. Of course, we have to get the rights, but we are definitely making this movie.
We can always write like a short story treatment and stuff like that. Obviously, throw some twists and turns. I don't want it to be just a straightforward, oh, Jamie decides to become a killer. Like, I obviously want there to be some moments where it's like, oh, it's not as cut and dry as we're led to believe. I want there to be a choice for Jamie. There wasn't a choice for Michael Myers to be a killer. He was just an evil person. But I want for Jamie's character, for there to be that choice. Does she really want to be that type of a person? Does she want to be evil incarnate, or does she want to be a regular person? So,
yeah, I'd actually watch that movie. What would you say we should rate this movie?
Well, so it's obvious that you like this movie more than I did. So I would. I'm trying to find like a good time, because I didn't hate the film. I thought it was good, and it's definitely not the worst entry into the franchise. I'd put it maybe 7.
Yeah, I could go for that. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not bad. It's not the best movie in the series, so yeah, 7 seems right.
I mean, as we mentioned, there are good kills. We still have Dr. Loomis. Danielle Harris as Jamie Lloyd is fantastic. The young actress that plays Rachel, she's a great final girl. There are actually a lot of positives to the film. It's just, there's just a few things that feel like that they're missing from the film, but they're hard to specify. But yeah, I think 7 is a fair score. I'm sure things will be interesting when we get to the next film, Part 5, because that is another Halloween film that is widely hated, both among the fan base and amongst the critics.
Right. And also, before we end this video, if you guys haven't noticed, I have a Michael Myers pop figure here. I actually got it when I got the whole movie series. Of course, I had to buy them separate, but I bought this on Amazon. I mean, it was cheap, and I do recommend you go check out any of the pop figures on Amazon. They aren't sponsoring this video, even though I do wish they were, but just trust me. They are good with pop figures, and they're pretty cheap. Some of them you can actually get as a gift with your next purchase. So this has been our review on Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Any final words, Cameron?
Yes. To quote the priest, you can't kill damnation, mister. It don't die like a man does.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and if you enjoyed this video, click the notification bell so you can get notices for our next video, the Annabelle movie, which came out after The Conjuring, a year after, and next week's Halloween 5, The Curse of Michael Myers. No, wait, The Revenge of Michael Myers. And we will see you guys on Wednesday with the next movie. And just have a very scary evening. Good night, and goodbye. Or you'll end up like this poor sap.